Okay, this is just for illustrative purposes. The venue always exists. You're dealing with and you're witnessing the supernatural, which is demonic. It's not a natural environment. Maintenance of a light source, which is supposed to, I guess, on its surface, you wouldn't even think twice thinking that it's the sun, but all I'm doing is calling everyone's attention to what science and common sense dictate. And the sun is not a hovering light source that's adjacent to a third floor window. I'm on the third floor. The entity's light source is hovering very low over the top of the buildings. Number one. Number two, it remains over this property for an excess of 10 to 11 hours. Remember, outside of my living room window, 8 o'clock, it's outside my bedroom window, and it is 2:56 p.m. To remain in alignment, by the way, with the same venue in the evening, as you could still see that light source, which has gone nowhere. That's the specific environment. What I'm showing you also is the fact that the environment changes just like that. The entity is in no way removing directed light. The entity, as I expose what is not the sun, what is not sunlight, all right, that would ever show anywhere on the ceiling. That okay, this is common sense. So this is how you're looking at what this is. So as it appears and disappears, and I put that in air quotes, you're understanding what is the maintenance of directed light, first of all, in multiple hues. I've shown you, you see the concentrated light, but then I'm also showing you, pay attention, because you can see an enlarged shadow. You're looking at layers of directed light. Directed light that is being aimed in on an ongoing constant basis, and you're paying attention to the environment, the concentration, the magnification, and you're looking at what covers the entirety of the grounds. This is seconds later after I captured that previous video, and immediately it's a sunny day. This is the same exact environment. What they were doing, USPS and Tiffany Sherez and the rest of the minions, those are third-party group stalkers of a specific condition. They are in the specific environment, which is demonic. They are engaging in the demonic behavioral patterns, the maintenance of amplified audible activity with simultaneity to what I do. That includes LAPD. Acting in conformity to the demonic behavioral pattern, and they're doing it in what is the engineered light, a demonic environment, an impossibility, and a phenomenon. They are doing so, what you saw them doing, driving in and out, just like right here. This is called crossing path. It creates light activity. While you have what's supposedly a cloudy day, that is a lesser degree, if you will, of the brightness of the directed light. The directed light is always present. They're moving around in the engineered light. It is present day and night. That's how you see at nighttime the pattern of these blinds hanging off onto the ceiling. Reference my documentation, because you already saw that. And also, common sense also dictates. And what is actually going to be reasonable under any type of law, but this is going to be reasonable under federal law, where you are witnessing the phenomenon at any time. It also logically follows the fact that you witness that impossibility, that scientific impossibility is speaking and establishing the fact that that pattern of conduct does not stop. So you're dealing with a demonic entity that's highly malicious, engages in things such as making it appear as though the sun is not present, that it's a cloudy day. In other words, the pattern of conduct isn't underway because one of the elements of monitoring are missing, and that's not the case. I've shown you that directed light remains at all times, day and night. I've shown you pay attention to the environment. You're looking at what is concentrated light versus what is the less concentrated. You're looking at the peephole, concentrating light aimed onto my wall from the peephole. That's not sunlight, and that's not the sun. While you're looking at what are multiple shadows of light being cast at the objects in my room, but the blinds in the living room are closed, and sunlight is not projecting at that great a distance. And you're looking at the pattern of the blinds, as I've shown you, they're magnified in size, and I could put my hand in them while the light, you could see it enlarged on my. None of that is sunlight. Reference all of the documentation. See, you're talking about a demonic entity that is in no way prepared, woefully unprepared for its exposure. And there is no explanation for that which is the phenomenon. Removing that phenomenon is not even reasonable to suggest that the pattern of conduct is not underway, because how did it ever occur in the first place? It's unreasonable under law, and that's exactly how you're going to analyze that. But what you're witnessing, I want to show you all the faces of malice. This is the revealing of what is satanic, okay? You are witnessing what is malice. Malice in federal court is synonymous with what is demonic, okay? The demonic seeking to conceal itself, seeking to conceal its behavior, seeking to conceal its criminal system, all right? And its actors, and it is the Los Angeles Police Department, It is the people of the state. At no time, by the way, we could just common sense dictates that's not sunlight that you were looking at this morning in my apartment. And that same light that's in my apartment is the same light that you see covering the grounds. And by the way, that was at 8 o'clock in the morning. We're over the same property. I'm at the same apartment, and the sun that is a gaseous ball of fire is not hovering this low, not shooting like a laser inside of your apartment, not ever creating multiple shadows around on the surfaces inside. It does not create magnified size of light. That's not sunlight. And it's also not going to remain present over one property. 8 o'clock, let's count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It is, I'm sorry, 3, 7 hours later, and it's on the opposite side of the same apartment. No state. Let's use Florida. Florida is not looking at this light source that's hovering over my bedroom window, and it's hovering because because this is supposed to be sunlight. So you're going to use the asinine environment that the entity surrounds you with to directly rebut what common sense you already know by common sense. It's a scientific impossibility that it would even be here if it was the actual sun, if this was the natural environment. But it also follows that because it is here, this is not what anybody in the state of Florida is also looking at. The sun is not a stationary object that is seen by everyone at the same time all day. Contrary to that, the sun actually is a gaseous ball of fire that's in constant motion, which is also speaking to the fact that it would not even be on the property. You wouldn't even see it if that was the sun that was outside of my window this morning. But you're looking at what is a very demonic environment, and all you have to do is pay attention, because that's where the devil is, in the details. Counting on your ignorance, counting on the fact that you will not pay attention. But I'm revealing to you what is a matter of common sense. And it is in no way in conformity to what NASA has told us. You can Google it yourself. This is common sense. At no time, by the way, will sun ever bounce around and create multiple shadows, reach into the depths of your apartment, create any pattern of light on your ceilings. That's not sunlight, and that's not the sun. But what I want you to witness is the specific environment where what you saw is exactly what I told you. They are demons, and they are engaging in the pattern of conduct, stalking in the path with light. Okay? You're doing that while you're running on the sidewalk. The entity is providing the engineered light on a massive basis. You're doing that while you drive your USPS vehicle and those vehicle lights are on. You drive forward, you reverse, you back out, and you drive out. Under the malicious guise in the natural, because that demonic possession is invisible. In the natural, you're looking at a vehicle in operation. Spiritually, what you're witnessing is a very demented method of targeting someone. Right? While the outward veneer is as though they're out there disconnected, engaging in what their job is. That's what everybody here is doing. The elements of monitoring are underway. The elements of monitoring are underway in a specific environment. That specific environment is a phenomenon. It is a phenomenon. And that's how you know what everyone is. And that's how you know what everyone is doing. All right. The USPS, the post office on Holt Boulevard in Ontario, California. Oh, there's no sun over that post office, but that's exactly what I documented in this same exact position in its zenith over my head, both in the morning, and I also went back in the evening because I was sure to expose the United States Postal Service, who are engaged in this demonic system of monitoring American citizens while they're delivering mail in the specific environment. The sun is not over the United States Postal Service on Holt Boulevard, 123, I believe, Holt Boulevard. That's the United States Postal Service address in Ontario, California, where the entity maintained what is this impossible light activity inside of my apartment. That engineered light, that's what was covering the United States Postal Service in Ontario, California, and engaged in suggesting that the sun that you see, and there's supposedly only one, right? There's supposedly only one, but that light source, what you see outside of my window while I'm in Los Angeles, California, is hovering over me in its zenith in Ontario, California. And it wasn't just there at that moment. It remains there for the duration of the day, which is the pattern of conduct. But it is out of conformity with what the natural environment does. That's how you know what they're doing. They're doing it in a specific, and by they, I mean the demon possessed. All right. With regard to the demon possessed in federal court, they will be addressed as third-party group stalkers, the people of the state, targeting an American citizen in violation of their constitutional and human rights, for which there is no constitutional defense. They're present on behalf of an entity. They live at a crime scene, the specific environment. All right. And you have what is living under what is not possibly the sun. You're a group stalker. You're coming and providing services under the light source, which is not possibly the sun. You're a group stalker. All right. And your condition is no mystery. It is no secret, especially while you engage in the behavioral pattern of just coincidentally creating noise creating any method of light with simultaneity to what that targeted individual does. That's what group stalkers do. They follow with light. They follow with noise. And what I've shown you is what surrounds all of them is the environment. All right. And when this light source isn't present after 10 hours in the day over this specific address, and understand that's only because I haven't left, because this entity broke into my vehicle and damaged and stole my driver's license and my social security card. Remember, I already documented it. And that's a pattern of conduct. Because I remain here for over 10 hours during the day, the entity has not moved this light source, but that's how you get what is the light source directly over my window, over my head while I'm on Omnitrans. Reference the documentation while in motion. The sun doesn't remain over this third-party group stalker's vehicle. You see it stayed here stationary. While he's in that vehicle, it is not remaining over his head while he is in motion driving wherever he's driving. That's not how the sun works. And nobody in the state of Florida, nobody in the state of Texas, nobody in the state of Louisiana, nobody in the state of Mississippi is looking at the sun while it's hovering over Alvarado Gardens for 10 hours in the day. There's only one sun. The sun is not a stationary object. The sun is a gaseous ball of fire that does not hover. We would set on fire. All of this is common sense. This is the revealing of what is a demonic environment. It is satanic, whatever word you want to use. And the people of the state are in California on behalf of a public entity that is corrupt, exercising satanic methods, another person under the malicious guise of society. And I am revealing there's nothing normal about it whatsoever. All right, USPS, Tiffany Sherez, all these group stalkers, Ty of 1800-5, Mesrop that was present, parked here. You have what is the SCI co-worker, Carlo Lopez. They're all walking around using their vehicles. This one right here, cleaning and demolition of all types. Jose Cruz, that's this truck right here. This is a business they've been engaged in group stalking and monitoring all day and doing it in concert with the Los Angeles Police Department and engaging in criminal summing as well, both of which are independent grounds of federal prison. This is P.O.C. This is a group stalker using their vehicle and parking at the crime scene as a systematic means of creating facilitating activity. Living at a crime scene is a part of the entity, the state's systematic means of the people of the state that are monitoring, targeting American citizens. All right, so I just want to make sure I capture that, how quickly the environment changes. Do not be deceived. When you're looking at what's supposedly a cloudy day, it's not a cloudy day. I've shown you in my images where it was supposedly cloudy, but you can see that there was light illuminated right here. And I just put my finger. The entity is always stalking with light. All of them are stalking. That's all they're doing. And by the way, where you establish the venue, the people of the state are going to be prosecuted just like that. In the specific environment, you are a stalker. And you don't have a constitutional basis to defend it. It is the revealing of a highly malicious system. And the government is not getting away with it. And the government is doing it through the people. Andrew, he's going to federal prison. All right, using his business today to engage in criminal facilitation with LAPD and acting with impunity. And doing so while monitoring me inside of my private space. These are also sex offenders, demons that know what I'm doing on my communication device as I upload information into the Google Drive, know what I'm doing when I'm inside of my private space and I pull my panties down. They're sex offenders, demented ones. And that acts in concert with the Los Angeles Police Department. There are a plethora of reasons why the people of the state and the state directly shall be prosecuted and exposed, and every ounce of that federal policy that I advocate and more shall be enforced. It is necessary as a matter of justice. It is currently 3:08 p.m. and what you're witnessing is light activity. The light source that is not possibly the sun that remains here over 10 hours. You're talking about witnessing the supernatural, okay? As I'm exposing to you what is very real, the demonic. It's creating light activity. It goes dim and then it goes bright. It goes dim and then it goes bright. You all know what they're doing while this light appears. All I have to do is take a picture of the directed light of my apartment, which you already know is here. I've already established the venue. All I'm doing is taking down names. All right. It is currently 3:09 p.m. and this is P.O.C.